today we're going to show you how to make a soothing chamomile calendula salve.
Yeah, I feel like summer just started and we're already covered in bug bites.
Oh, I know. These are definitely must-haves in your house all summer long. When my 4 kids were little, we kept these everywhere. We kept one in my purse, one in my diaper bag. Their grandparents kept them at their homes. Wherever we went, we made sure that we had a soothing anti-inflammatory salve, and we definitely used them all up. So make them in bulk, keep them on hand. I guarantee you you're going to use them. We're going to start with calendula, one of my absolute favorite herbs. It's this bright yellow-orange herb that you see here. This is actually a type of marigold, so there's a good chance you already have it growing in your home. And it's very easy to grow, it's very easy to dry. You want to dry it out definitely before you start making a product, especially a salve with it, an oil-based product. It's a fun project for the kids to do, and we're going to use the entire flower head for this project. We're going to put 1/4 of an ounce of our calendula into the bowl, and you always want to weigh your herbs. This is what we tell the students all the time. Know the botanical name of your plants and weigh them out so you know exactly what it is you're making and what you can expect of it. We're going to add an equal part of chamomile. This is another really great anti-inflammatory plant. It's very good to have on hand. It's easy to grow, and of course you can also make soothing nighttime teas out of it as well, especially if you're growing organic chamomile. We're adding 1/4 of an ounce of that as well, so we have equal parts. Even though they may not look equal in here, they have equal weights, and that's what matters the most, because we don't measure our herbs by volume, we always measure them by weight. And to that I am adding about 2/3 of a cup of olive oil.
Now the olive oil doesn't look like it covers all of the herbs in there. Is
Right.
that how it's supposed to be, or?
It is, because these are such thick herbs in volume.
Okay.
If we were working with leaves or bark or something like that, then we wouldn't have any problem covering 1/2 ounce of herbs
Right.
in 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. But because these are flowering petals, then they're just bulkier. They don't weigh more. They take up more volume.
Okay.
And that's the key thing here, is knowing what they weigh. If we were to keep adding more olive oil until they were completely submerged, we'd run into a problem of having something that wasn't potent enough to actually be useful.
Okay.
So we just keep pressing them down into the oil, and we're going to infuse the oil, and it'll work like that.
Okay.
So what we need to do now is make an herbal infusion with this concoction we put together. The best way to do this and the fastest way to do this is to put it in the oven.
Okay.
I like to put it in the oven on about 250 to 300 degrees for a few hours in the afternoon. Go do something else and then come back and it's ready.
Okay. Now is that the only way to infuse them, to use heat?
It's not, no. You can put them in a container and put it in sunlight and wait for several days or even several weeks.
Okay.
The heat just is a little bit faster.
Okay.
And these have been infusing all morning here in our offices, making them smell absolutely amazing. The chamomile straight out of the oven is by far one of my favorite scents. And this is, you can use cheesecloth or you can use just an old tea towel.
Okay.
And what we have here with this great herbal infusion is a lot of plant matter that we need to get out of
Right.
our oil so that it's usable.
Okay.
So we're just going to cover this and pour it right here into the tea towel. And you'll notice, because like we mentioned, there are a lot of thick herbs in here, it seems like it's mostly herbs and no oil. But when you start squeezing it, you notice quite a bit of oil comes out of there. And this is when you just use your hands, get them a little bit dirty.
A little messy.
But the smell is absolutely fabulous.
Now when you're finished with these, can you do anything with the herbs after that?
You can't. No, we've extracted all of the beneficial compounds out of the herbs, and so you can actually stick it in your compost bin, especially if you're not using oil.
Okay.
The compost bin is a great spot for it. Since we're using oil, then you might want to dispose of them another way, but you've definitely used them up. If you try to use them again, then you run the risk of mold.
Okay.
And you
Definitely
also
don't want that.
Right. And you also are not going to have a strong compound like we're looking for. So now we have this fantastic infused anti-inflammatory oil, which we could use like it is.
Okay.
But obviously, with children, that's going to make a mess.
Right.
And it's not very easy to carry around. So we're going to thicken it up into a salve.
Okay.
And this is just beeswax. This is the same kind we give our students in their
Okay.
beeswax, in their student kits. We're putting a tablespoon in here. And this is where you get to play around and have a little bit of fun with your salve. If you want it to be thicker, like a lip balm type consistency, then you would just add a little bit more beeswax.
Okay.
And if you want it to be a little bit more runny, like a lotion, then you would add less beeswax.
Okay.
And now, of course, we need to put this into the oven again.
Okay, for the beeswax to heat up.
Right. And of course, we have one that just came straight out of the oven.
Smells so good.
It does, doesn't it? This is definitely an easy remedy to keep on hand because it doesn't have that harsh woodsy smell.
Right.
And we're just going to pour it into our tins here. And you want to do this part rather quickly because you don't want your salve to set up in your container.
Okay. It solidifies pretty quickly.
It does. It's going to solidify within a couple of minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then you're going to have your thick, creamy salve, and you can put the lid on it.
Okay.
Of course, label it with all the ingredients in case anyone has an allergy to any of the ingredients.
Okay.
Put it in your purse, and you're set for the summer.
Perfect. I'm going to take one of these with me to camp tomorrow so that I have
sounds
it.
good. I'm Jessie. This is Caroline. We're with Vintage Remedies. Thanks for joining us today.